Dear listeners, tonight let me take you to the windswept moors of northern England, where the ground is always soft underfoot, the heather grows wild, and the mist creeps in as soon as the sun sets. There, hidden between rolling hills, lies the tiny hamlet of Black Hollow, a place nearly forgotten by time, and the setting for a story the locals whisper only by candlelight. Long ago, Black Hollow was a place of laughter and hard work. The villagers raised sheep, tended gardens, and every Sunday gathered in the ancient stone church that still stands at the heart of the village. But if you talk to the old folk, they'll tell you that Black Hollow changed the year a great storm swept the moors and a widow lost everything, except her grief. Her name was Agnes Whitaker, and her story is as much a warning as a mystery. It was the autumn of 1848. Agnes lived in a tiny cottage at the edge of the village with her husband Thomas and their young son Matthew. Agnes was known for her kindness, her garden full of herbs, and her habit of walking the moors each evening with a lantern, waiting for Thomas to return from the mines. But that October, a terrible storm rolled in. Lightning shattered the sky. The river burst its banks and swept through the valley, washing away homes, livestock, and, as fate would have it, Thomas and Matthew as they hurried home from the far fields. The villagers searched for days, but found only a child's boot tangled in the reeds and Thomas's hat drifting in a puddle by the old willow tree. Agnes refused to believe they were gone. Each night, lantern in hand, she roamed the moors, her figure a dim glow in the fog. "They're only lost," she would say to anyone who tried to stop her. "The light will bring them home." But the weeks turned to months, and winter fell hard. Still, every night Agnes walked, the flame of her lantern flickering against the endless darkness. Some say grief changed her. Others say it was something older, something that lives in places where sorrow lingers too long. That Christmas, the children of Black Hollow woke to find gifts of wildflowers and berries on their windowsills. Gifts, the elders whispered, left by Agnes's wandering spirit. For on Christmas Eve she vanished from her cottage. Her bed was untouched, her lamp still warm. No one saw Agnes again, not by day. But soon strange things began to happen on the moors. Travelers crossing the hills at night reported seeing a distant light bobbing through the mist, always just out of reach. If you tried to follow, it would draw you deeper into the wild, until you lost sight of the village lights and heard only the wind and the distant sorrowful cry of a woman calling for her lost family. A shepherd named Edwin Pike once told this story, his voice shaking over his pint at the inn. "It was near midnight. My dog and I were looking for a lost lamb. The fog was thick as porridge, but then I saw it. A lantern swinging slow, a figure all in black beside it. I called out thinking it must be Agnes, but the figure didn't answer. She only drifted away deeper into the mist. When I tried to catch up, I tripped and fell. The lantern vanished, and when I stood, I realized I was standing on the edge of the old quarry. Another step and I'd have gone over." Other villagers saw the lantern too, sometimes two lights, one small and quick, the other slow and steady, as if Agnes and Matthew still walked the hills, forever searching, forever lost. As the years passed, the tale of the widow's lantern became a warning. Children were told, "If you see a light on the moor after sunset, come home, do not follow, or you'll join the Whitakers, wandering the fog forever." But as with all ghost stories, someone always dares to test the old fears. In the summer of 1994, a young woman named Claire Davies came to Black Hollow. She was a university student from London, curious about the old legends, collecting stories for her thesis. The locals were friendly, but wary. "Don't go out at night," the innkeeper warned, "not even for a story." Claire laughed. "It's just folklore, isn't it?" Her curiosity was stronger than her caution. One moonless night, armed with a notebook and a torch, she slipped onto the moor. The air was thick with the scent of heather and the distant rumble of thunder. She waited near the old willow, heart pounding, every sound amplified in the silence. At first, nothing happened, but just past midnight, a faint glow appeared, weaving between the stones. Claire's breath caught. The light was too steady for a will-o'-the-wisp, too cold for a torch. It moved with purpose, pausing as if to listen, then gliding onward. Claire followed, notebook forgotten. The light drifted away just beyond reach. She called out, "Hello, Agnes?" The lantern paused, then continued its slow, mournful journey. Deeper into the moor she went, boots sinking into sodden ground, The fog pressed close, and the world shrank to nothing but that pale, flickering light. Claire felt a chill, then realized the air was utterly silent. No wind, no insects. Even her own footsteps seemed muffled. The lantern turned suddenly, and Claire found herself facing the figure of a woman in black, face shadowed beneath a bonnet. The woman's eyes glimmered with unshed tears. In her free hand, she clutched a small child's shoe. Agnes's lips parted. "Have you seen them?" she whispered, her voice echoing from everywhere and nowhere. "My Thomas, my Matthew." Claire's voice failed her. She took a trembling step back. Agnes extended the lantern. Its glow grew harsh, illuminating dozens, hundreds of footprints in the wet moss, all leading away into darkness. "If you see them, tell them to come home. Tell them I'm waiting." The lantern's flame flickered, then burst into a spray of sparks. The world spun. Claire closed her eyes, heart pounding, and when she opened them, she was standing at the edge of the old quarry, alone, with only her fading footprints behind her. She stumbled back to the village at dawn, her clothes damp and her notebook empty. She told her story to the innkeeper, who only nodded. "You're lucky, lass. Some never come back at all." Claire left Black Hollow with more questions than answers, but she never forgot the lantern's light or the sorrow in Agnes's eyes. And on stormy nights, wherever she was in the world, she would sometimes dream of mist, moor, and a lonely woman searching for her family. So, dear listeners, if ever you find yourself walking the wild places of the world and you see a lantern flickering in the fog, remember the widow's lantern of Black Hollow. Follow only if you wish to be lost, for some grief burns so bright it can light the way for centuries.